Kalagoda Festival. This is the 23rd edition of this festival. My mother used to bring me to this festival when I was a child, and then I bring my mother now. So it's been a 23-year relationship with the festival. For a city to have a festival that's free, of this nature, where such high thought and high art is reaching people for absolutely no cost, has been, of course, thanks to our partners. Our festival director is also a woman, and she's here with us today. That's Brinda Miller. Thank you so much. And Meera has joined us as well. Thank you. Let's start off with a disclaimer. We love men, okay? And we want men in our lives and by our sides. So by no means is this going to be a men bashing session, let me assure you. However, the music industry is changing. The number of female songwriters, composers, and those behind the music is growing at an encouraging pace. So let's not lie. The same is also evident from the number of female music creators signing up with music copyright societies like IPRS. In India, where music is an integral part of our daily lives, however, the representation of women in music is strikingly low. In fact, when we were putting together this panel, we were like, can we try and get more women? Okay? We get the artists pretty easily, but when we get women in business or when we get women in representing the sort of legal side of things, there are only a couple of names. So you can count them, on our fingers. Performance arts में औरतों को शायद ज़्यादा जगह मिलती है, लेकिन जब काम की बात आए, तो जितने भी नाम थे वो इस स्टेज पर हैं, let me assure you. So how do female creators and women in business go about building their own success stories? What does the future hold? This is what we're trying to do today. So I'm thinking I'll start with Shushti. Yeah, can we start with you? Okay, great. The youngest, are you the youngest on the panel? I think so. Yeah, definitely the cutest. Okay, let's start with that. But the most phenomenal success story in recent times. So for those who might have seen her on MTV Hustle, give her a shout, Babies. Yeah, I'm one of them. Whether she was called Chota Dawn or Expression Queen, we've seen it all. You also, made a space as a hip hop artist. Now, ये एक मर्दों की जागीर है, usually. How easy or tough is it to navigate a space which is traditionally not looked at as a female space? I'm going to pass you a mic. I'm so sorry.
Unless I would have decided to dominate the male-dominated space, I would have thought of the right answer for these questions. But this was never planned, and I just ended up dominating. It's been easy since I've been on TV. That journey had been easy, but before that, before Hustle happened, I used to perform at open mics where again I was the only girl and there were only men performing. Like apart from me, there were only men performing because open mics used to happen at night, and even when girls had the art in them, their families wouldn't allow them to go to open mics in the night. Luckily, my family was very convinced that I'm safe, so.
They are not safe. No, but that's so true, because the open mic culture, I don't know, I'm talking about Mumbai, it starts only at 10:30, 11. Especially with hip hop and sort of like if you're doing a cypher, spitting rhymes or whatever, वो शुरू ही होता है 11 बजे. So if you want to make a name, you have to literally be there after hours. And that is a huge preventive sort of, I remember, okay, I'm going to share this with you. When I wanted to go to my first nightclub, they didn't allow us to go to nightclubs, right? And then there was something called socials that happened in the afternoon. You remember socials in Madness?
With our
in Hard? With our generation. So I don't know, that's the first sort of thing that we could do is make timings accessible for female artists. That could be one point that comes straight off. Thank you so much for contributing already. Thank you. Gauri, I'm taking the next one to you. There are actually 2 mics, so can we get the second mic as well going? Thank you. whenever they're in. Gauri, let me introduce you properly, because I know what you've done, but let the audience also be in on our little journey. You head A&R for Times Music at BCCL. You've been heading A&R for non-film at Times Music since the past, and let me get that right, 20 years?
Yes.
Whoa, give a big hand for that. You've developed a massive repertoire in spiritual fusion, Sufi, Indian classical music in particular. You're a trained singer yourself, and that is a secret because you actually lent your voice to over one second. How many jingles do you think she might have lent her voice to? Nice secret, no? Yeah? 1,000 jingles.
Oh, yeah.
1,000 jingles. So this is amazing. So you're a master of fine arts in music and theatre, and you've worked, consistently with singers, composers, music producers, nationally and internationally. I'm only interested in the artist first.
Yeah.
Okay. Where did the artist, find space in the corporate? Does she still have a space?
Yeah, definitely, because what I feel right now when I look back and see as a singer, trained singer, going for youth festivals and winning awards and lending my voice for jingles and singing in live concerts, and all of a sudden I feel that I get this opportunity, and I said देखती हूँ 6 महीना करके देखती हूँ, because I'm not the person who will do it 9 or 10 to 6 or 9:30 to 6, whatever. So I said 6 महीना करके देखती हूँ. If I can't, then let me go back to my freelance days and enjoy. What happened with Times Music was it was also developing content. It was a new company and it was developing content in the music space that I enjoy the most. And 6 महीने के 1 साल 6 साल अभी I just counted and it's 20 years now, and I said, oh, it's such a great journey simply because there was lot of creative, what I should say, freedom. There was lot of creativity to meet composers, lyricists, singers. And at that point of time, we used to have music sitting before the recording. So they would play 3 tunes to us, and then we would, select one, and then the rest of the process would take place. So that was very, very interesting. And I was meeting people like Pandit Jasraj at one side, Lata Didi at the, that's the Ma Saraswati for me, Asha Tai. And on the other side, there was Abida Parveen, with whom we did 9 albums here. And such great stalwarts and the people of great caliber that kept me going and discovering myself through the music from the other side of the business.
As someone who works in making that music happen, I'm curious to know, as a woman in the business, did you ever have an agenda which is to have more women in the music?
You must come to Times Music's office and you will realize that it is totally dominated by women. And in today's time, I feel like I was telling Srishti that so much energy and so much to done. At one side, I was making spiritual music, or maybe लोगों को बोल रही हूँ कि I'm giving them hope and happiness to for their future. And the other hand, यहाँ से भी भगवान को फोन जा रहा है और भगवान से बात हो रही है. So spirituality is also changing now, and talking to God and asking Him to bestow His whatever divine blessings. That is also changing. So this journey is also interesting, and I then have social media team who is per age 23, 24. There are people who are of various age groups. And the women are definitely making change in the other side of the business also. I call Priyanka so many times if I have some problem with a song, whether it's in the traditional space, how to go about it. So that is how we also connect with them.
I also want to extend that question and ask you, as somebody in the business, are you making sure that more women or female artists get their space on the racks?
I'm sure, everybody finds their place. Men, women, everybody. And right now, because of probably people like Priyanka, I send so many requests to her. Why I'm telling you, the legal interns want to intern with Priyanka, or people who are studying in Berkeley wants to intern with the music labels here. Women I'm talking about, the girls, because they look up to Priyanka, they look up to Srishti, they look up to her. They are looking up to people who are making difference in the music business also.
Okay, fantastic.
So
Thank you.
that is what I feel.
You know, I must, before I take this to Priyanka, because it's natural. You know, इतना आपको मोहब्बत दी है. I have an observation that I want to share with you, which is there is a very, very popular song recently, which is क्योंकि सैयां घोड़े पे क्यों सवार है. Have you heard that song?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a song about female consent, if you look at it,
Yeah.
right? But it's written by a man.
Yeah.
And that to me just jarred, you know. I mean, he's a great lyricist, let's not take away from him. But at the same time, you know, what I'm looking for is representation from our side, from our stories. And today we're trying to explore that. Are we, you know, fulfilling our own agendas? And is it okay even to have an agenda? Okay, so having said that, I'm going to take this to Priyanka. Priyanka, before you start, can I please introduce you again? You're the founder of Kimani and Associates, a full-service law firm that is recognized for entertainment and intellectual property services, right? But most recently, you've also been listed as India's top individual lawyers by Forbes in the first edition of its India Legal Power List in 2020. Yes? Recognized as one of the most powerful women in IP in India in 2021 by the World IP Forum. Please give her a big hand for that. And one of my favorites, because I would have liked to be invited to this, but I'm not as educated, I think. The only Indian to be invited to speak during the Grammy Week in January 2018 and is a regular speaker at Nylon Connect. Congratulations. I love it, I love it. This modesty is not a good thing. But I do want to ask you, are the legal side of things, how do they differ when it comes to male artists versus female artists? Is there any difference, or when you write the word artist in that semicolon thing, does it mean any artist? Is there any difference at all?
I think luckily there isn't.
Yes.
There isn't a difference. I'm going to put it out there, right? As someone, I know there's a lot of touch on different aspects of what it looks like when you're a male actor versus a female actor, and female technician versus male technician, etc. But I feel, at least in my experience, and I end up dealing with talent across the board, right? Whether it's someone who's now at the beginning of their career to somebody who's far more accomplished. And I feel that luckily we're at that stage today where there is enough command that even female talent brings to the table. Yes, there's definitely less of them. Do we want that to change? Sure. But I feel more and more the scales are balanced, in the sense that even if you're a female artist, you're able to, I think that day is gone, right? Where you feel that, oh, because I'm just a female artist, I can't command what I should be. And I'll give a classic example. Lata Mangeshkar, right, Didi? I think a lot of us owe huge parts of our careers to her. And just look at what a trendsetter she's been. Every time I'm asked about, you know, say what's your experience working with her, I till date maintain she is the OG boss lady. You know, aaj shab seekhe hain, right? To say, you know, she's a boss babe or whatever it is. But even back then, for her time, she was able to put her foot down and take a stance on so many issues. So I don't think it's a question of gender. I think it's more a question of craft, more a question of you knowing your worth, right? Recently someone asked me that, how do you end up dealing with so much of this, you know, constant negative feedback? And it happens to the best of us, right? Everyone has an opinion, and I feel the more of yourself that you put out there, everyone has something to say, and we're all human, you can't help it, but at some point it gets to you. And I think or even this, right, that there are just so many men, Priyanka, that you're dealing with. It happens. Most meetings, I'm the only woman in the room. Just a few days ago, actually, I was in this meeting, massive artists, massive founders of a big company doing something huge. I'm the only woman on that table. And even at this stage in my career, I was just persona non grata, right? Like you're not even making eye contact. You're looking at the artist, you're looking at the artist manager, everything's going on, and then no one's looking at me. And I feel somewhere through the meeting they realized that, oh shit, we forgot that she's actually the person who made this happen. And I could see that realization settle in. So I think what I was really saying, so when they asked me that what do you do in these situations, I've realized that just focus on your craft. If your craft is so good that you are indispensable, only you can bring what you bring to the table, your gender is irrelevant.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for highlighting that. Giving us a lot of hope. I see a lot of people have just walked in. Hi, thank you for joining us. This is Women Changing Music at Kala Ghoda, enabled by the IPRS, of course. I want to take this to Mercy. Mercy, thank you so much for joining us, and for the benefit of a few people who might have just joined us. You represent the Tetsu sisters. You're a quartet of sisters from Northeast. But I would like to be specific, which is Nagaland. Alright, that's important to me when we're talking about representation. Poima, is that correct?
Yes.
Wonderful. I actually followed your music when you started making those YouTube videos. And I remember when Barsori Megha Megha happened, it was on loop on my player, just the version that you girls did just stole my heart. And that got me curious. So that is why I want to, of course, tell the rest of you as well. Apart from being a multifaceted, talented woman, musician, singer, lyricist, poet, writer, TEDx speaker, you were given the Woman Superhero Award in 2020 at the World Women Leadership Congress in 2020. So big hand for that, please. And I would like to mention, okay, even if I get the names incorrect, I'd still like to mention the four of you, which is Mercy, Azi, Kuvelu, and Lulu. I hope I've said
You got
that.
it right. Thank you.
I did? Okay, fantastic, fantastic. I know that the reason why I was very excited to have you on this panel is to talk about representation, but on two counts, One is that when you need to be represented as gender, and the other when it comes to geography. What has been beautiful with this journey has been the internet. The internet has made sure that you reached all of us. Did you ever feel that either geographically or because of gender, you have to work harder?
For us, our journey has been really serendipitous in a way. We never planned how we want to do things, and at some point it just all fell into place, and then that's when we realized this is what we want to do, and then it became much more directional in the way how we want to represent what we are, as in like people like to club everything together as Northeast, so there'll be like art from Northeast, but like how you very specifically said Nagaland, and even in Nagaland we represent one tribe, and while we don't pretend to be the full representation of just one tribe, because even within the tribe we have so many differentiations. Like there's among the Chakisangs, which this is the tribe that I belong to, we have 83 villages which speak the dialect that we sing in, which is Chokri.
Chokri, yeah.
And then there are 3 other languages, and there are 20, 30 other villages. So
is it Li or is it Lai?
It's Li.
It's Li, right? Do you want to spend a minute and tell my audience what Li is?
So Li is the Chokri word for folk songs, songs that come from the soil and songs that come from the ancestors. And for other songs, we have another word. It's called Zale. So
wonderful.
2 Chokri words for you.
Thank you for that. Because what's been amazing is outside of the covers that the Tetsu sisters have been putting out, they've been consistently putting out songs which are originals, which you must go and listen to. They're on Spotify, by the way. So
Yes.
just go and type Tetsu sisters and you'll get, and it sounds beautiful. Also musically, I feel that it's very advanced. So
Thank you.
yes, over to you.
So then over the years we have become one of the only groups from Nagaland, and in a larger space, North is representing the region, and as girls, performing for the last 20 plus years. Representation is something we take very seriously because it's like a responsibility that's been thrust on us. So whenever we take the stage,
we want to be correct in our expressions and what we are sharing with the rest of the world, because that becomes something which people take away, and then that's a little thing that they learn about Nordics or Nagaland. So that's become very important for us. And when it comes to gender, over the years with social media and everything, there's so much exploding opinions and everything. And if we look at all the feedback that comes, we feel again a sense of responsibility again because what we do is one way. We have looked at our journey as a way of documenting our culture, at the same time making it relevant in terms of making it entertaining as well. So that's why we also do covers and have fun things, because as artists we also want to grow in that direction. So it's been a combination of being mindfully trying to represent who we are as people and who we are as a gender as well sometimes, and trying to send out the right message through our music. So I think that's what our journey has been about. So it has a set of challenges, but it's also a lot of fun.
Wow, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. Rumpa, I'm taking it to you now. You wanted this panel to happen, and you're the reason why it's happening. But I want to ask you that, when it comes to understanding what our rights are, do you feel that we could do better as female artists at all? What are things that we could do to ensure that our rights are safe?
So when we come to rights, the basic problem is in India or like across the globe is that the kind of confidence a woman artist has. Because there's a very interesting study which had come out some time back, which says that when a man applies for a job, even if he's ticking 60% of the, all the prerequisites, he goes ahead and applies for the job. But when it comes to a lady or a woman, she waits for that she has to fulfill all the 100%, only then she is confident to go ahead, step ahead and apply for that. So the basic point that I want to say is that today what is holding back a woman is that she always feels that I don't know enough. And she is always very shy, very inconfident and very scared of being judged. Because there is a very famous song, a very popular song of the 80s. So I come from Bengal. So in Bengali movie there is a very famous song where the superstar of Bengal, Uttam Kumar, he is singing that song. And in the song he's saying that what a man if he doesn't have a scandal. And for a woman it's just the opposite. She is always scared that she should not be judged. There should not be any scandal. So whatever she is wanting to do, she always tries to first understand whether I should go ahead and do it, whether it's the right thing to do, whether my society will support me or to do it. And when it comes to songwriting and these kind of field, there is a lot of onus that she wants to take first. That, what I'm saying, what I'm singing, what I'm writing, will I be judged wrong or not? So first she has to come out of that shell. Then comes that she doesn't get enough time also to explore, because she's always multitasking. So when we had launched this initiative, Her Music, so this is a spin-off of our initiative, Her Music, in 2021. So I joined IPRS in 2020. Yeah. So when I was looking into the membership numbers and all, so currently I will give you a basic data. So now we have over 10,000 members in IPRS, author, composers and publishers. And the count of female creators is something around 600. So it's just a little above 5% of our total membership count. And you will be kind of surprised to note that this count, we had a 300% jump after our 2021 initiative Her Music. So just imagine a society which is existing since 1969. It's a 53 years old society. There, in 2020, we had around, say, 100, 150 female creators. And the jump only happened these 2 years. And there is such a big territory to still go and to fill up this gap. So what I'm trying to say now is that first, when we launched this initiative, so we had done a panel that time also, and we wanted to understand that what is holding back the women in the industry. So the kind of stories that came out. So there is a very famous lyricist from South who said that suppose I'm writing a song, I have to be at the studio at night, I'm going there, so the song is still not finished, but I have to rush back home because my son is waiting for the dinner and the maid is waiting like, what? Like Didi will come back and instruct me to cook. So she is rushing back home, leaving her song and her entire team there, like, and promising that next morning I'll come back. At night she's like, when she's like retiring for the day, she's thinking, "Kal mera fridge mein khana hai to." Instead of thinking of the last lines to complete the song.
Of course.
That is that. So like those are the kind of situations like a female artist is dealing currently. But I'm very happy that with the digital like coming in the last 2 years, there are a lot of young artists which is coming into the industry, and they are making that happen. That no, nothing can stop us. So yes, there is like a lot of lack of awareness in the society. First is that like reaching out to these people. So our first job is to identify the female talent. So currently we are reaching out to artists across the country. So like recently in December we had been to Nagaland. So like at the Hornbill Festival.
Yes.
And the kind of incredible talent we found there was mind-blowing. But again, they didn't have an iota of understanding of what a music copyright is. And because of this lack of like awareness and knowledge, a lot of artists today are not being able to get the rightful like revenues what they are supposed to get. Because they feel that when I'm making a music as a one-time payment is enough for me, or when I'm going out and performing, for my performance I am getting that is enough for me. But no, that is you are doing and getting the money. But what about the time when you are not working, you are not creating, you also need that break. But then what happens during that time? Are you like you are kind of you starve or your family starves? So that is where a copyright society like IPRS comes in. And this awareness has to be built in our country. And in women, yeah, I'm sorry to say this awareness is very much lacking. Because anyways, we have that kind of a mental block, finance, legal. I'm so proud that like Priyanka is managing a role which like usually a woman shies
I
away
find it
from.
very easy to call you Rumpa. I call her all the time. I call Priyanka all the time. You know, when I need to just pick up the phone. And I'm not saying this because I would be underconfident calling a man. All I'm saying is that when there's a woman there, I, as somebody who works in this industry, find it more comfortable. Also, I feel that वो सुनेगी मेरी बात, at least सुन तो लेगी. But for those who might not know, and I think thank you for talking about Lata Mangeshkar. You know, until 1954, the best song, because the day they make an award for me, मेरे हुनर के लिए, तब मैं जाऊँगी, तब जाकर 1954 में, if I'm not mistaken, you know, the first ever award for a female singer was instituted by the film fair. So that was done by Lata ji. If you look at her trajectory, and let me give you this perspective. You know, if you didn't know who she was, it's very easy to say वो बड़ी लड़ाकू थी, है ना? ऐसे नहीं कहेंगे कि लड़ाकू, because of course you know it's a woman. Pushy, bossy, you know. So these are words that are associated. सबसे बड़ा झगड़ा उनका तब हुआ रफ़ी साहब के साथ, जब उन्होंने रफ़ी साहब से कहा कि जब जब मेरा गाना बजेगा मुझे इसकी रॉयल्टी चाहिए. और इस बात पर इतना बड़ा झगड़ा हुआ, और रफ़ी साहब, जिसके बाद में हम सब ये कहते हैं कि कितने कमाल के आदमी थे, क्योंकि जब आदमी you know ऐसे कहते हैं तो उन्हें कमाल के आदमी बोला जाता है. उनके बाद he was also. उन्होंने कहा कि मैंने अपना पेमेंट ले लिया गाने के लिए, अब मुझे और पैसों की क्या ज़रूरत है, मैंने अपना काम किया तो उसके पैसे मुझे मिल गए. And that was the basis of the fight. In fact, she stood her ground so strong that she didn't sing with Mohammed Rafi for the next couple of years. And today, if we are sitting here and we're wanting to be, you know, artists or, you know, girls who want to make music, we have to thank her, because without her, that right or that money would never come to us. So I just want to say, I say me at a combination. You know, we all say that she's a good. It's not just because of the singing or the music. It's also because of what we've stood for. I give you no time to prep for this question, okay? But it's going to go around the room, so Rumpa gets the most time. Unfair,
I
right?
think you start from there.
So why don't I start from there? Rumpa ji,
I just
Rumpa ji, let's okay, safe space, okay guys, safe space. क्या आपको कभी इस बात का एहसास होने दिया है कि आप एक औरत हैं इस प्रोफेशन में?
Yes, very like early days of my career, because I have the habit of not just accepting because you're telling me as my boss. So I always question that why I'm doing it, and I was made to hear that आप बहुत like you like argue a lot, and a woman should not argue. So आप बहुत बात करते हो, बहुत argue करते हो. Why can't you just go and do it? Because in our society we don't like women who argue so much. So I was, I think, around 25, 26 at that time. But because in my childhood, the family I come from, I never, like as a girl, I was differentiated. So I always thought myself, girl, boy, kya hota hai? That I should be accompanied. Okay, Priyanka, as like he said, Nancy, that your art should speak, or what Sushri said, that your art should speak. So I never thought that I'm a girl or I'm a boy, because I have two brothers and we all grew up together. Is that first time I realized when I went, like entered the industry and I started working with men. So yeah, in terms of pay and everything, it's there. That why do you need so much? Why a promotion so quick? And you know the industry. If you're getting a promotion, then okay, you're sitting with your boss. It's very good.
Oh my God, haven't I heard that? I'm the favorite. I'm beautiful. I am, but
Yeah,
I'm
but,
also very
yeah,
talented.
but we're not here to leave it so easily. So yeah.
Yeah. No. बहुत बहुत मैंने प्राइस पे किया मेरी खूबसूरती का. And now I just own it. ऐसा हाँ मैं खूबसूरत हूँ, हाँ मैं काबिल हूँ, हाँ मैं आपसे भी बेहतर हूँ, क्योंकि मैं अपना काम करती हूँ, है ना? So no, and this is important. There are women and men here, okay? And this is not just for women. It's for all of us to stand up and say, if you are good at your job, you know, you can ask for anything that you actually deserve, okay? Not want, deserve. Mercy, I'm taking this to you. Have you ever felt? Have you ever been made to feel?
Yes, many instances. So there was one particular huge event where we shared stage with a very fine gentleman who's very well known, and we were asked to give a press remark later together. And this fine gentleman says, when you have on stage 4 beautiful ladies in short skirts and you know they're dressed so exotically, they always get more attention than the music that I'm playing. And I'm like, what? You are like so celebrated, and how can you say something like that? So yeah, that was one very sad instance. Another thing is we are Tetsuyo sisters, and that's because we're 4 sisters who started the band, and we have our brother playing along with us. And a lot of people would be like, you know, why do you call yourself sisters when your brother is in the band? So it's like reverse for us. And they would ask us like, they would ask my brother, do your sisters bully you? So we're like, what is that supposed to mean? So you know, it works very differently for people when
Yes.
you know women are suddenly the stronger and you know more visible. So yeah, those are maybe 2 of the instances.
You know, I used to audition. मुझे बहुत interest है sports में, तो मैं audition देने जाती थी. It was my dream to be a sports presenter. And there was no, I mean, with radio what happens, पता नहीं क्यों radio के साथ I feel it has never mattered if you're a man or a woman, because it's about your thought. You know, luckily कोई आपको देख नहीं रहा होता है उस टाइम पे, तो अगर आप जो बोले उसके ऊपर आप चल सकते हैं. लेकिन जब मैं स्पोर्ट्स प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए गई थी, मुझे आज तक याद है, उन्होंने कहा था कि आप you will not look like a sports presenter. And I know my cricket. You know, and ये बात मुझे आज तक खलती है कि मुझे पता है कि कितने सेंचुरी कब, मुझे आज तक शारजा का वर्ल्ड कप का हर एक बॉल याद है यार. But it was true because I didn't look like, you know, and why do we need to look a certain way? You know, nobody tells Sunil Gavaskar to grow a few inches, you know, because they're only looking at Sunil Gavaskar, the cricket player, right? But when it came to a female presenter, I was told straight off that you don't look like a female sports presenter should look. And I said, wow. But you know, they try to play games, but they don't know where the sporty type, so we'll play. I'm going to take this to you, Brenda.
I think similar. I've had both kinds of instances. So to answer your question, yes, every single day, right? One is, of course, are you sure you're a lawyer? You're not a model or an actor? And like you, I've just now decided to own it. It lasts for all of 5 minutes till they listen to me speak or like do what I do, and then that quickly goes out the window. But equally because of that, I also end up experiencing this whole other power play. It's very interesting. It begins with first trying to charm you and be really nice and very complimentary, and you know, oh, you look fantastic, and oh this and so that, and you know, she's so sweet. Then when that doesn't work, it'll come to the classic, you know, let me tell you how to do your job. So then you're just sitting there and listening to them repeat exactly what you said. But you know, you just let them have it, mansplain it. I'm sorry, I wish there was a better term, but it is what it is. And when that doesn't work, then is when you start to see the classic power play, right? Where you're suddenly not good enough, not efficient enough, not fast enough, you don't have the bandwidth, you're this, you're that, which then eventually starts to turn into a little bit of gaslighting. And I feel I have, for many, many times in my career, been benched, been made to sit out of deals, transactions. It happens till date. Very few people actually know this. I think everyone thinks that, oh, it's, you know, what she has to do is show up looking the way she does. And I hear this from women, which is the unfortunate part, right? Arey, tumko to kya karna? You just have to show up like you are. Jab se tumhari shakal dekh ke khush ho jate honge. Like everything, right? And no, I think so. What I was saying is that you end up paying the price for it, because when none of that works and you're still who you are and you're still saying that, no, I'm going to show up every single day, I'm going to be me, I'm going to do me, right? You're then just made to sit it out time after time after time, including even recently where I actually had a massive record label executive tell me that, yeah, Priyanka, if I hear someone saying something negative, then I just join in. But then, you know, now I still love you. I'm your biggest champion. Like, how is that supposed to help me, right? If you're hearing something negative that you know is not true, you are working with me very much. What is stopping you from in front of your buddy saying, no guys, but we still really like her, you know, we're going to work with her. So I feel I see the whole spectrum every single day, many times a day, but you still gotta show up.
Oh my God, sorry. This is a clap of like sadness. Oh my God. Madam.
Yeah, so far I have just begun, but so far every place that I have spoken at, I have been asked one question specifically: how is it being a female rapper? And it's a lot of fun. It's exactly like being a rapper. Right since I was on the show, I was being called a female rapper specifically, even though never did I rap about any female issue, did not address anything related to the whole female, like nothing specific to women. Yet, articles will always never forget to mention that I'm a female rapper. It's so exhausting. Why do you need to remind me of my gender? It's not like it's not obvious. It's just
I actually
irritating.
have a question. When I heard Manito Conde and I knew that you had written it, there was an androgyny in that line, and which I first thought, okay, you know, why is there this androgyny in this line? Because it could have been written by a man as well. Talk to me about creating that line, because today it would be great if you can talk to us from a gender point of view.
About Manito Conde?
Yeah.
Okay. There is, again, nothing gender specific about it. This was my life motto forever. Since I started writing, I used to, as I mentioned before, I used to go to open mics. Then I started organizing open mics. Then I started, like when I was looking for jobs, everywhere that I went, I always looked around. Especially when I thought I was the best at my job, I looked around and I really was like, मैंने तो कौन होगा select? मैंने तो कौन करेगा ये job? And that had been my life motto even during the audition, because I was sitting, and obviously rap show ka audition, there were like 100 guys and 4 girls. One of them was me, and these guys were really boasting about very cliche, very basic lyrics. I mean, they were very happy doing average work, very happy. And I was like, ये लोग इतने confident हो सकते तो मैं क्यों नहीं हो सकता? Like मैंने तो किया है, मैंने कोई बात है मेरी बात में, तो मैंने तो कौन आ गया वहाँ पे select? And that also became my Instagram handle, because my Instagram handle had to have my name, and there was no other life motto. So, so I just made a song about it.
It's amazing. I love it. Because it's not just a song, it's also a chant. To me, it's also a prayer. It's also the sort of affirmation that you carry with yourself.
Statement.
And when it comes from a creator, and I'm sorry to say female creator at this point, but when it comes from a creator, you're representing everyone, right? So thank you for that, because it comes from you. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Very, I'm going to take this to you. Same question. Ever been made to feel, well, I want to know how to navigate this corporate space. मेरे लिए नया है.
But I don't think, I have never experienced it in the corporate space as such. But when I interview men and women for the jobs, whenever it had happened, once somebody came to me and said, "Acha, just try and get a male person in your team, because the other girl was young. And she may be pregnant, she's just recently married, she'll be pregnant, then she'll be busy in her kids." So that is another aspect that I find in many corporate jobs. It is not particularly for my corporate, it's women or dominated space. But I have observed people telling this, and again, as you said, the females tell this to the other female about somebody like this. So I feel it's natural to be pregnant, but even now I feel the kind of commitment and the kind of pressures they can handle, the women, amazing. In my team, 24/7 they are there. I am 24/7 available for any such decision that needs to be taken in the corporate space. They never take cigarette breaks. I don't mind women taking smoking, but largely, if I see, they don't take much of the breaks in between. They work and they go. They have kids. They look after the kids. That's absolutely okay. So this aspect I find, and I wanted to put across here, simply because they are women and they are mothers, their commitment towards the corporate job is not going to go anywhere. They are 100% there.
Thank you for that. Yes. Since we are talking about women changing music, something is really bothering me. Okay, the disappearance of the female voice, the female look, okay, all of it in the last couple of years. The female song has been eradicated. You sang Barsore Megha Megha. At least कोई लिख तो रहा था हमारे लिए गाने, है ना? लेकिन ये गाना ही गायब हो गया है. Do you feel that the sort of, I can't, when was the last time we had okay, so you had Lata ji, you had Asha ji, okay, after that you had Kavita ji, you had Alka ji, okay, उसके बाद you had Sunidhi, you had Shreya. What happened after that? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm coming from a lens of wanting to look at female models in the space. Of course, the space is now, they say it's more inclusive. See, this was panel about inclusivity, we talked the other way also. Let me say that. But the truth is, in the Hindi film industry right now, that one female dominating voice doesn't exist. Because the songs don't exist anymore. So, because they became item songs, or now they are recycling the 90s songs. How do we make space or ensure that the female voice is not going to be erased? I don't know. I'm not even asking this question to everybody. I'm just saying that, is this a thought that has occurred to any of you on this panel?
Let me take this first. I don't think so, because nowadays we are talking about, if we are talking about Bollywood, I am not talking about only Bollywood. I am talking about the independent space, the independent music that is coming up so well in today's time. And if you can see, there are listeners on Spotify and other platforms for the original music, indie music, and even otherwise. And recently I had chance to work with the youngsters who are trying to make their mark, like Srushti, in this industry, in the music space. And the example of Maithili Thakur from Bihar, who has become extremely popular in the space, and I saw her working very hard towards singing Bihari songs, the folk Bihari songs, the devotional songs maybe, and also Marathi songs, because recently she was in some festival in Thane and she sang one very beautiful Marathi song, and everybody from the chief minister to the common audience, they were in awe with her pronunciation. So they are arriving because they have now open space. They are on YouTube, they are performing. There is somebody sitting in Kerala called Surya Gayatri. I am impressed. Uttara Unni Krishnan. You guys in Nagaland. So they are finding their voice through these platforms.
Great. The internet is a boon.
Yeah.
The internet is an absolute boon.
Exactly.
Streaming changed the game.
The streaming changed the game. You can put out your old stuff, sitting anywhere in India, abroad, wherever, in Canada. Lot of artists are from Canada also who are singing Hindi songs now and who are Bollywood singers.
You know, Gauri, it's interesting you said that, because one of my questions that I was leading to is actually coming from streaming and the internet. And at this point, let's take this to the artists on the panel, to Shrishti and to Mercy. No mercy when it comes to trolling, okay? And let's talk about trolling for a second. अपने से किसी ने किसी को कभी troll किया है? तो कहाँ से आते हैं ये लोग? I've never seen a live troll, you know. I've never met someone who's a real troll. किसी ने आके सामने से, लेकिन हजारों के तादाद में होते हैं इंटरनेट पर। तो मुझे बताओ, आपने नोटिस कि मैंने किया कि ट्रोलिंग में ना जेंडर बहुत दिख के आता है, कि जब अगर आपको किसी मेल आर्टिस्ट को ट्रोल करना हो, सो एक सेट ऑफ गालियाँ होती हैं, क्योंकि जो लगती भी है तो उतनी नहीं लगती। ना यू लुक एट इट लाइक कूल, but you know, when it comes to female trolling, it's a lot more vicious. It's a lot more vicious. So can I ask if you ever, and I'm sorry if that's happened to you, and if you're okay sharing that, because of course I want to give a trigger warning before it. Has there been a time when you looked at your troll and you said, is this because I'm only a woman?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yes, of course, male artists also get trolled, but I think it's easier. I don't know, somehow it's easier for those invisible keyboard warriors to troll women. I don't know why they find us more like soft targets. They have so much more to talk about. They want to talk about our makeup. They want to talk about how we look, I don't know, they find so many things to talk about when you were a female. But when you're a guy, I don't know, maybe they don't have enough subject. But yeah, we have also faced a lot of internet trolling. How we react is a different story, but I think somehow, yeah, females get a lot more trolling.
And it's very physical appearance.
It is. It's very physical for sure.
What would you tell, people who are watching this? How can you deal with trolls online? Do you deal with them at all?
So we have tried 2-3 different reactions. I mean, sometimes not react at all. But there were some instances where people got really personal, and that's when we took legal actions.
Okay.
And then we made an example of one person because it called for such measures at that point. But most of the time, if it's inconsequential, just nonsense, and you don't want to react to such negativity, just get over it. I mean, you just ignore it. But yes, sometimes when they get too serious, and you have to make an example of it and tell them that you won't take it lying down, then you have to take action for sure. So we have done both reactions. Yes.
Fantastic. Shrishti, I'm going to pass it to you. Do people troll you? Jurrat bhi karte hain?
Yes.
Yeah. I would be afraid to troll you.
Why?
Because you would be like, rap me out. You'd make a rap on me. You'd just be like,
Apparently
"Kaun hai
people
tu?"
are not afraid.
Oh, you've experienced it too.
Yeah, people do, obviously, but mainly because one, I am working in a male-dominated the rap scene is majorly male-dominated, no? And they were not hoping कि चमक जाऊंगी यहाँ पे. So many insecurities I have touched, I think. So that's why, and I was expecting also, अगर बिल्कुल ही ट्रोल नहीं हुई होती तो ऐसा लगता कोई इम्पैक्ट नहीं पड़ा है, पर मतलब कि छोड़ा नहीं है मैंने कुछ भी छाप. So now that people are trolling, I can tell that somebody somewhere is affected by what I'm doing.
That hit hard.
And dealing with trolls, I have also, like, when the trolls first started, I was reacting to them and I was replying to comments, and you know, only especially I reacted when I had like very savage comebacks. So I could not hold them back. So I reacted to them, and then those became as a low-key news items. Those became. So I figured कि ये नहीं करना होता.
Yeah, Shrishti Tavle replies to troll.
हाँ, hip hop pages होते हैं ना, they take screenshots and start posting screenshots of comments, and people, like thousands of people like these things. So people are very interested in it. So I figured कि वो नहीं करना है, and I figured कि इसका solution है वैसे तो, जो अभी तक already मैं कर रही थी वही करना है, कि successful हो जाना है. उससे टाइम नहीं बचेगा ये सब पढ़ने का मेरे पास, कमेंट्स पढ़ने का. So that's what I'm doing now.
Beautiful. I see something common emerging as a thread before we go towards wrapping our session, is that if I may make a general statement, we come from very, very supportive families. Each of us. Okay? And if we are not with an environment that could be as supportive, and I'm saying support not in terms of monetary or financial support, I'm saying at least they gave you a go-ahead to say do what you want to do. So I'm wondering if someone didn't have that, okay? Because I would say that if you're from that, then you're very, very privileged. What happens if you don't? You know, because then there's a different strength that needs to come into play. Is there anyone in this panel who could probably, you know, throw some light, talk to women who might not have that, you know?
I think it definitely can be more isolating. Like you said, right? It's already lonely to a certain extent because there's very few of us. And then that coupled with you not having the support, right? Whether it's from your spouse, siblings, parent, just not having that makes it even more isolating. But here's one thing that I'll say, right? At every given point or junction, you are empowered with making a choice, right? That, I think, you know, when you are at every crossroads and you feel that, okay, where do I go from here? Let me just give this up and it's fine. Yes, sure, the struggle is it might be more difficult, but you will look back and think that, okay, I made that choice. There's no right or wrong, there's no good or bad. It is a choice. Use everything in your arsenal to make that choice. That's one. The other thing is, and I think we underestimate how much you can lean to other people for support outside of your family. And I feel this is so true, especially for someone like me. I don't think I would have come this far had it not been for a lot of the support that I saw from different people I encountered, whether it was someone I just assisted or interned with. I remember one of my first few jobs was to actually, someone would dictate dialogues onto a dictaphone because they were that busy and really in demand as a writer. My job was to transcribe that, right? But even that person, when I actually ended up getting Lata Mangeshkar as a client because of this person eventually. So I feel we underestimate the power of people that keep coming into your lives. Latch onto that, hold on to it, make the most of that, because there is an external family outside of your own family.
Wonderful. Thank you for that, because I really, my heart goes out to those who may not have that, and we're very, very privileged if we had that. So, Rumpa, I want to take this to you and then extend it to the rest of the panel. What has been your greatest sort of, I wouldn't say advice, but a life lesson that you'd like to share with other female creators or women in business, in entertainment, media, arts, or even in corporate jobs? You know, what do you think is that one pearl that Rumpa gave us forever?
Yeah, so before I come to this question, so I would just add my bit to what Priyanka said, is that yes, so like this is a place where like societies, communities, your friends, and like these kind of things like help a lot. So for anyone who wants to fulfill their dream, like look outside, read a lot, follow a lot of things, see the world outside, because you don't know like who's waiting there to help you. And these kind of forum sessions where you can identify people, like today Priyanka is there, or like a society like IPRS is there, or Rohini is there, or like any one of us, like Gauri is here. So you can always reach out to anyone like who is fulfilling, like who is capable of like supporting you in your dreams. So just like don't like stay within your limits. Just explore, like read a lot, find out new ways of fulfilling your dreams.
Thank you.
So I think that's very important. Yeah, now coming to one, so I don't know whether I am kind of capable enough of giving this advice, but yes, what I believe is that like have your own dreams, because like what happens for most women, but it's changing now, but it happens for most women is that you first like think of everybody else and then you think of yourself. You try to balance everything, then like your life comes. Don't do that. Find your own dreams, your own me time. Because there will be a time in your life when everybody will go. So identify your dream at a very young age. Follow it with a lot of passion. And look out for friends and people who can help you to fulfill your dream. And make those hard choices. Because you might think that today my society, my family, my relatives, because we come from a country where more than my family, my relatives, log kya kahenge, like padosi kya kahenge, mera relatives kya kahenge. Come out of all of those, because once you have made that choice, and those initial few years will be tough for you, but once you have made that choice, gone ahead and you've become successful, you will see these people are coming and taking advice from you that how can I do it?
Or selfies.
Yes. So don't compromise. Compromise, if you do, the entire life you will repent. So please don't compromise.
Huh? Nice. I like
मास्क लगाने से पहले
खुद का मास्क लगाए, है ना? किसी और का मास्क लगाने से पहले वो औरतों के लिए इंस्ट्रक्शन है फ्लाइट्स पे.
Because I had heard something which was quite hurting, that like I never told you to do the sacrifice, you did it on your own. Then you are kind of left lost.
आंसू आ रहे हैं औरतों के.
That
We've
you
all
could
heard
have
that.
gone and watched that movie. You could have gone and done this thing. Who told you to not to? I never told you. You took that choice as a mother. You did that choice as a like a daughter-in-law or a wife. Then you have nothing to answer.
Sometimes I feel I'm in 2023 and in one instance I feel I'm not. Like I feel I'm in a Raja Ravi Verma painting. Like it's in a lift now with a woman holding a fruit. Anyway.
And you see that तब तक आपका जो भी है जवानी है, enthusiasm, everything has gone. So that's the pathetic thing.
Actually, fun story. You know, a few years ago, and I'm taking this around the room. Let's make it like our last final hurrah on the stage. Okay, guys, we're gonna do this. I love all of you who are here. You're amazing. We need to have more women attending panels with women. Okay, that's the first step. The men are. I'm very grateful. Again, as I said, we love. Okay, but I remember there was a male radio jockey who came to me about 5 years ago, looked me square in the eye, he must be 50 years old, and he said, "Bhakti, कितना है आपके पास? 4 या 5 साल, जवानी ढल जाएगी, बाल सफेद हो जाएंगे, फिर क्या करेंगी आप?" आज मैं उसकी बॉस हूँ. And I'll never forget that, because there is no need to say this, okay? You know, this is coming from a place of extremely being threatened, right? So, वरना कोई क्यों बोलता है यार किसी को ये? At the first instance that he said that to me, I looked at myself and I said, oh my God, you know, because we are human, we are not super women, okay? जब उन्होंने मुझसे कहा था तब मुझे थोड़ा सा लगा भी था, और फिर मैंने कहा था ठीक है, we have to work harder, ताकि ये prophecy सच ना हो जाए उसकी, you know, तो फिर क्या करेंगी आप? So we, you know, so, but it's not everybody, yeah, it's not everybody. But I love him. Right? You know, I love him. I thank him every day, because if he not, I'm not asking
But
that
he pushed
question.
you to be your best.
Yeah. We'd like to believe in the best for people. Mercy, I'm going to take this to you.
Yeah, it's sort of like adding to what you were saying, because we women end up spreading ourselves too thin, trying to please everyone. So, for me, I feel everybody tells you to be persistent, to be successful, but I think it's okay to change your mind. You can start over at any point in time. So we women have just to be more brave and more confident out there. whatever comes your way, it's never too late to change directions and, you know, decide what to do, the things that makes you really happy. So that's my pearl. Do what makes you happy.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Yeah.
But before I say, I just want to give a big shout out to my mom, who's here today. Thank you. She is my worst critic, makes me pull my hair. But today she was excited. I think it's the first time that you're actually seeing me on a panel, so thank you.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Okay, I have 2 pieces of advice because that's what I do, give advice. The first one, which I think is gender agnostic, should apply to everybody. अच्छा, सस्ता और जल्दी, तीनों मांगकर शर्मिंदा मत करना. Let that sink in, right? You can't have all 3, and you should not want all 3. I think this is very important, especially for the way business is being done today, the way lives are being run today. You want everything on your fingertips, quick, instant, easy. No, that's not sustainable, right? So that's one. And the other one, which is slightly more specific to women, I would say, invest in yourself. Whatever that means for you, right? Whether it is investing in that photo session, in that piece of great equipment, in going and getting that injectable, whatever it is, you do you. Stop thinking of it as an expense. Think of it as an investment.
Beautiful.
I only need advice. Something I have stuck by for a long time now is कि डर के आगे जीत है सच में मैंने देख लिया तो है डर के आगे जीत and don't for women specifically actually don't try to match the men around you, just look at them. Nobody's standard should be that low. You can do better and don't be afraid of how much you're capable of. You just have to find out and then one decision away you are from being that person. So
Amazing. Thank you.
So what I feel right now here, because the session is about women changing music and there are men sitting here, so we should clap for them because the change is happening. We can see the men here. So thank you all the men here because I truly feel that it is not about gender, it is about everybody's existence and whatever they want and they wish to do. So start at any age, any time. Whenever you want to do whatever, you just start then and there. Age doesn't matter, grey hair doesn't matter. Because you will, in today's time, I feel you will find your way to present your talent, your music, your art. One. And second, I want to tell all of us, because we all are sitting in metro, but there are women, girls who are sitting in B and C cities or in villages. They might not be that privileged. So for them, if something can be done by us, women sitting in the metro, that is also more important for their art, their music, and also to keep our folk music, our music from the roots alive. That is what I want to say.
You know, the funny thing is that we're talking literally 2 days, or not even 2 days, after Beyonce has become the artist with the highest number of Grammys, okay, which is the biggest music award. So I think it's kind of befitting, right? Because the change is already here. How can we all be our own Beyonce is probably why we came to this session. हम सब में Beyonce है, आप में भी है. As my mother says, Beyonce.
And also
I love. Olga Yagnik is the most streamed artist after BTS. मतलब ये सब सुन के बहुत अच्छा लगता है. And I feel that yes, women, amazing. What also tends to happen in panels like this, and because we have so much to say,
So 2 pearls from you too.
2 pearls from me. So this is my pearl. Is that mostly at panels like these or at sessions like these, we are so caught up on talking about what we are facing that we don't spend enough time to tell what men should be doing better. And that to me is sort of my, it's not even an instruction, I just think it's a request, is that if you are a male, please do not treat or look at women as female, okay? Especially when it comes to our appearance, when it comes, because that's honestly what needs to go out the most, is that हमें पता है हमें बहुत कुछ करना है, लेकिन अगर आप एक या दो चीज़ें भी कर देंगे तो हमारे लिए आसान हो सकता है. So please be allies, okay, to anyone who's working with you who just happens to be of the opposite sex. So that would be my sort of ending to this session. I hope it's been beneficial for most of you who attended this panel tonight. I truly want to thank from the bottom of my heart you wonderful, wonderful women. It's been an absolute privilege for me to share this panel with you.